All right. Welcome to the Indie Bandits Twitch and YouTube channel. My name is Jimmy, and I'm here with Joe.
All right, Jimmy.
How's it going?
Not too bad. It's been a while, and to quote the Chipmunks, we're back in style. We are. You've been away on assignment in London, I believe,
I have, yeah,
and that's why
a
we've
bad
we've missed
internet
a couple of weeks.
assignment.
Oh, well, yes, that too. That too. How was it like in the Stone Ages of slow ADSL
It was a bit
interweb?
weird. I don't really. It's like not something I've dealt with since I was extremely young, so it was a bit weird being back in a place where the time before internet and yeah, sort of stops you doing a lot of things. Even like work meetings were difficult because there was no trust in the internet. So,
Yeah,
but it's over. I'm back. We can get back to some
nice.
streaming and some playing some games.
Yep, very, very good. I look forward to it, though I have sort of forgotten what we did last time.
We
Though I have,
smashed Bruges, and I think it was the Portuguese who had it.
yeah, I've my notes here say took Bruges, therefore gained a foothold in Europe, and we are currently, and I had to quote your earlier WhatsApp message for this. I said we're currently preparing to attack the Portuguese in retaliation to their constant buffoonery, and I was like, yeah. It's just like I couldn't get enough of that. Just constant buffoonery. I just love the idea. It's like, right, sire, we need to declare war on the Portuguese. Why? Well, I can cite several grievances, but the main one is constant buffoonery.
It's just near constant levels of absolute buffoonery from the Portuguese.
Just ceaseless,
Ceaseless
ceaseless.
buffoonery.
So I guess we'll hopefully get them back, but I don't know how we can get the Portuguese from Bruges. Now my geography isn't amazing. I know they held Bruges, so that's like
I think they've
a
got
kick in the nuts for the Portuguese.
this one as well. I think they've got Caen. So
All right.
we've got a decent little army in Bruges. I think we can build up some spearmen there just to keep it, and then once we've got enough spearmen there, we can get all the decent guys out and about, and probably have to beat up Antwerp first because I feel like they will just leave the door open again. I don't want another York situation occurring.
Feel sorry for the non-existent Belgians in this game who we are just attacking all their cities even though they don't. Do they have a faction, the Belgians, in this? This is
No, they don't.
pre-Belgium,
No,
isn't it?
yeah, they'd be
This is
Flemish rebels. I think that's all they would be.
oh, like the Welsh and Scottish rebels that
No,
we've dealt
Scotland.
with in our.
Scotland has a
Oh
faction.
yeah, we fit. Well, they had a faction,
They
right?
had a
We finished
faction,
them off.
smashed them.
That was our first crack on, wasn't it, to
It
get
was.
rid of the
It
Kingdom of Scotland?
didn't take as long as I
Um,
thought it was going to, but then the Portuguese say the constant levels of buffoonery have kept us from doing anything else. So here we go.
Well, I'm gonna mention what would have happened in real life during our last time out. Whereas apparently I've broadened this. My levels of research have improved beyond. I forget the website I like to go to. Like primary school homework help or something. Broadened
My
my
first history
search.
book.
My first medieval history book. Yeah, essentially, yes. Like you open the pages and then these knights pop up. No, apparently there was the
I'd read that book.
War of Saint Sebas in the Battle of Acre. The Venetians defeated a larger Genoese fleet sailing to retrieve Acre. Is it pronounced Acre? I have no idea.
In the
Now
Holy
that's not
Land,
our
yeah.
lot. I'm assuming so, but that's the current like time period we're in, and I think I'm assuming Venetians and Genoese. Uh, we have them in this, right? Do we have
We've
the
got
Genoese? We have the Venetians.
Venetians and Milan as the other faction, but it's Genoa's up at the top there as well. But I think they just count as Milan in this game.
Fair enough. Also, Henry III died in November of 1272 and was succeeded by his son Edward, crowned Edward I in August of 1274. Don't know why that took so long. That's
Oh, that's a bit rich, isn't it?
you know,
They want a ceasefire, but they want me to give them $5,000 for that ceasefire. I feel like saying,
and £5 a lot of money in like anyone's books, right?
I tell you what, no. And we'll just see if they want a ceasefire.
You must think this lady a fool, or worse.
All right.
Tell me,
Just batty
do
then.
you always
Jeronima was
disappoint
not
my
having
needs?
it.
She wasn't.
Oh, and the last thing that would have happened last time round, Edward I conquered Wales in 1282 to 83, and would have killed, and apologies for any Welsh pronunciation here, but Llewellyn ap Griffith, which was the country's last prince. So,
Llewellyn, probably, Joe, if we're going to be...
potentially. Actually, Llewellyn wasn't the one I had so much problem with, because I've heard people called Llewellyn, and I don't know if that's like the anglicised way of saying it, I guess. But it was the Griffith that was getting me, and I think that's the same surname as that actor whose name is almost impossible to pronounce if you're not Welsh. Ian,
right, yeah.
Ian Griffith,
I know who you mean.
is he Mr. Fantastic in the old school Fantastic Four films? Well,
Is it Yayan?
Potentially. It's spelt like Iaon.
Yeah. Oh, these guys are fancy in a fight with just these four.
Are they fancy though? Because they look fancy.
They do
The
look fancy, don't they? Look at them.
Dismounted chivalric knights, which means they're like hard as nails. Because they're knights.
We've got a lot of arrows to fire at them, so let's have a go at doing that.
Muster your courage, men. We march into battle.
Captain Roy is on the case.
He'll sort it out. Here we go.
Let's see what we've...
Alright, I'll just stick all my archers up front, I think, and just shoot them as they come in. That's always fun.
Oh wait, this is our army, and they only had like
I'll do
4
archers.
units, right?
Archers on this side, yeah. That's create like
we've
a little
got, like,
murder box.
We've got like, I can't even add this up, like 16 units. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17. Oh, that was a close. That was like a just by eye trying to...
Just eyeballing.
Yeah, just like sort of like Rain Man it with matchsticks or whatever. But, 16 instead of 17, that wasn't bad. It's close. But we've got like 17 units and they have 4, right?
Yeah.
I know their guys are tough, but we have a solid numerical advantage. Even the little bar, which is normally quite negative, appears to be...
We'll win this one. If I lose this one, I've done something drastically wrong. The AI has...
Did you leave York and and leave it unlocked?
Not this time. All right.
I like the murder box.
Just hope they don't go for the flank. If they do, that'll be annoying.
They've got a long way to go around though, don't they? Can't you just like pivot the murder box if they go for it?
I'm hopeful they'll just go, ooh, those spearmen in the middle look really, really weak. Let's go for them.
Yeah.
Here comes the onslaught.
As they potter up there, do you want to hear interesting historical events from the 25th of June?
Yes, please.
So, it's Independence Day in Mozambique, who are celebrating independence from the Portuguese, who we do not like in this game. So,
no, we don't.
So technically, the people of Mozambique are our friends in this game and in real life. Unrelated to that, Slovenia and Croatia declared independence from Yugoslavia, and the statehood day in Slovenia. So there's 2 Independence Days. Then this is also the first day in which the rainbow flag representing gay pride was flown in San Francisco, which is a Francisco Gay Freedom Day parade. Is the day of event. So there's a lot of like independence and freedom going on. And finally, obviously the best holiday out of this list, it is National Catfish Day in the US. I just couldn't not include that. So if you're gay from Mozambique or from Slovenia and Croatia and or a catfish, enjoy your day.
Yeah. All that needs to be said.
I liked how just as I finished that, there was a little fanfare.
Did it? There's a few of them bought the farm on the way in, didn't they?
Yeah. Hear ye, hear ye. I declare today National Catfish Day.
For today...
Oh, he's doing it again. Feels like I've done it.
It's exactly the right time.
Negative Nelly, yeah, loves
And
the
lo,
catfish.
he pronounced it National
Our
Catfish
men are
Day.
winning the battle.
I am hoping
If we
this is
continue like
catfish
this,
as in the
we will
animal. I
smash
didn't
the
do more
enemy.
research on that. I didn't feel like I needed to know much about Catfish Day, but I'm hoping this is Catfish Day as in the animal and not like
The
pretending you're someone
fraud
you're not
thing,
on the
yeah.
internet. Yeah, so don't like cat.
The enemy are badly
I'm not
bloodied.
promoting
They've lost
pretending you're
half their
someone you're
men.
not on the internet to lure people into dates or something other.
No, that'd be weird. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Alright, let's just run around the back. Do the old hammer and anvil. Finish this one off.
What's hammer and anvil? I mean, I know what those things are, but in this context.
In this context, this is the anvil right here. Keeps these guys in place. And the hammer is the huge, heavily armored knights that are going to run around the back and then just come and batter them.
So literally like a unit that holds them in place, like the anvil, I'm guessing.
Yep, this is the anvil
And
here.
then a unit that attacks
This is
them.
the hammer coming in.
Very clever. See what they did there? It's almost like they used language to explain something by referencing something else.
Yeah.
Metaphorically, if you would.
Our men have captured the enemy general.
That
Guard
horse's
him well
arse
and make it
disappeared.
so he can see us defeat the rest of his army.
Alright, calm down.
These guys are getting such a high level of whooping.
Don't know what's going on here. Go get them. There we go.
Whose chivalric knights are we chinning, by the way?
Spain's.
Ah, yes, they've got the... Actually, I can only see our flags. I can't see their flags.
There's only one
Unless
here.
their flags look...
This one that's
yes.
flashing red.
Ah, yes, it's hidden.
Because they
betwixt
can't even
our,
get out. They're
lines.
fighting to the death.
'Cause they're getting hammered and anviled.
They've been hammered and anviled. How many of them are left? 7, yeah. And that's textbook right there.
The enemy army
And that's
flees the
and that's
field.
game.
Pursue and run
That
them
is how
down.
it's done.
All
How can
of
you hunt them
Christendom
down?
will
Well,
be awed
there
by
isn't
the
any to hunt
victory
down,
we
they're
have
all
won
dead.
here today.
Wait, hang on. Roy was the Spanish one. I honestly
Yeah.
thought Captain Roy was our fella. Though Davy of Amesbury is clearly went. Captain Roy sounds too English. How do I out English Captain Roy? Davy of Amesbury, aren't I?
I go for the old of Amesbury.
I just thought that Davy would do it as well, because if he was David, he could have been David.
Yeah.
Do we get to keep any of their money, or
Yes.
are they worth
know
much, or are
what
they
we
just worth
can
killing?
pay.
I'll ransom them, but I don't think Spain will pay. I don't think they've paid yet, so... Oh, hello, as I say that. Well, there's an extra grand for nothing, really.
Victory!
Yeah. And I said, where do they go once you do that?
I think they ran back onto the boat.
You want us gone? Then do something about
I
it.
think I just did, mate.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's not what I'd be saying if I'd been
On the
just
receiving end of
handed
that
such a
whooping.
royal whooping. Yeah, it's like, or literally having witnessed you doing something about it.
Yeah. Did you not
If
just
you want us
see
to
what
leave,
happened?
do something about it. Do you not remember why you're back on this boat?
Yeah. I simply
know,
referenced
like-
5 seconds ago.
Yeah, I know, like, in terms of history, humans seem to have very short-term memories, but even that's, like,
Well, Captain
Come on.
Roy. It's a very
Captain
short
Roy.
one. Oh, hello. Here come the Danes.
Captain Roy, it's bloody catfish day, not
My
goldfish day.
liege, we must make a stand. We are besieged.
I like the way he says besieged. I'd say besieged, but he's like, besieged.
Sieged. Yeah.
My lord, we are
I wonder if it's from another
besieged.
French.
Fleet ready, sire.
Well, he's getting a whooping. There you go.
I mean,
There's a whooping right there. Now, you know what I might do?
Is it the fight you wish? Come closer.
Oh, I don't know, actually. That's a lot of half-decent people. I might just wait behind the
they-
walls for this one.
so did they just get back together, like all of them lot?
What? I didn't cease hostilities against Portugal. I literally just fought
I guess
them.
you did by taking Bruges. Maybe that was the only thing they were wanting to fight over. And now that they've lost it. Maybe they've lost interest.
Oh, well. Fair enough. Oh, Venice are gone.
Forever's.
They've been wiped out. Milan nearly always in this game, whenever I've played this game, Milan nearly always ends up as like a pretty decent final faction. I don't know if it was them that did it, but I don't know if there's just something in the makeup of the faction that makes them as an AI particularly good. I don't know.
Ships ready.
Or the locale. I mean, we're talking about fairly rudimentary AI. I mean, this is AI that's probably like, what, 15 years old now at this point?
It is old, yeah.
I'm wondering if it just plays out like, because you always start on the same map with like the same stuff, right? This game doesn't have much in terms of like randomization.
No, every time you play it, the factions are where they are and they always start in the same area.
So, you know, it's like, I mean, is that not what they call it, like the definition of insanity, trying the same thing again and expecting different results? I assume that would play out in the game if you just leave the AI to their own devices, especially since we've had very little influence in it.
Course of warfare.
Oh, gunpowder. Should we get some of that? Because I feel like that would be useful.
I think we should definitely do that.
With a force that is unmatched. This terrible
But yeah, I'm assuming if these factions start next to each other, like maybe they wouldn't always become as strong if you were, say, like playing as Spain and would have more interaction with them earlier on in the game. And sort of like, maybe they just start in a really good position and, you know. Just it always happens the same way.
Yeah.
I mean, is I know the map doesn't change because you can't physically change the map of the world, and if it's going to be historically accurate, they're not going to change maps like they do in Civ. But are there like resources? Do they vary at all, or is it always like
No, I'm
exactly
pretty sure
the same
the game's
resources in same places?
Yeah, it's
fixed.
pretty much always the same. From what I remember, I might be getting that wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's the same. Right, some of these towns don't need to have like military buildings, so I'm just going to avoid building military buildings in the settlements and just build them in the castles. It's kind of pointless building them in the military bases. So don't even need them in all of the castles actually. I'll build the gunsmith at Nottingham. Don't know what to build here. Probably don't need anything actually. Let's build the irrigation. Why not? What are we building here? The mines are pretty good because they get you a lot of money. But they're expensive. I'll do that. Right, we'll stop there. Everyone's building stuff now.
Surely they pay for themselves. Like once you've built them, they earn you money.
Yeah, that'll pay for itself in about 6 or 7 turns once it's built. So that's worth doing. What's happening here? Yeah, all the city upgrades are going on. Right, I'm building more stuff to take down here because I feel like we're going to need more than we've got down there.
Antwerp's not ours. That belongs to the Danes, right? That's the Danish.
I'll get that next because it's too close to ignore it. So I'll try and get that next.
We will not surrender these.
What's going on down Egypt way?
Bit of a stalemate because it's a massive city, so I can't. The recruitment of like units is pretty crap. I could actually bother to upgrade them. I just haven't really bothered down there because I'm just kind of holding on to it. But I could spend a bit of money to build. Could go for a gunsmith down there, then we'll have guns at both ends. But I'll tell you what, we'll go with the city watch first, so I can build some.
What's the city watch do?
That'll help us get better militia, and then you'll be able to build like a better military building, so we can build some units that are better than just regular spearmen. Because if we're going to take other cities, we need more than.
We need more offensive capabilities.
Yeah. I think that's why the gunsmith will be worth it. We might be able to build cannons to break down walls and things from a very large distance, so I'll build one of them as well. Let's do that. Okay.
Assume this doesn't work like Civ, and when like gunpowder's discovered, just everyone gets gunpowder.
No, you have to build the right buildings to Right, here we go.
No, but what I mean is, it's like there's not like a research tree where
No.
you got gunpowder before everyone else. It's literally now everyone in the world has gunpowder.
Yeah, it's like everyone knows about it now, so it's available to everybody.
This kind of works much like, I think it's, what's it, the Manhattan Project and Civ does that. Like, once you research nukes, everyone gets nukes.
Right,
But
yeah.
I'm sure there's a mod out there for several games of Civ where they're just like, if you research nukes, only you get them. I mean, it would turn the game into like something very one-sided.
Yeah. Be a bit too powerful, wouldn't it?
I mean, those things like just eradicate entire cities and stuff. So yeah, if you're the only one who has them, obviously we're not going to get nukes in medieval Europe.
No.
So you know fine well that if they had nukes in medieval Europe, they would have used them.
Oh yeah, we would never plan it if there was nukes in medieval Europe. They were just constantly fighting each other.
Medieval times is after the Dark Ages, right?
Yeah.
Is the emergence from 500 years of stupidity, right? That was the Dark Ages, wasn't it? It was just human development stagnated for like several centuries.
It was a
Very
combination
little
of
could be
that, but
done.
it's also known as the Dark Ages because, so for two reasons, I think. One being, yes, technology kind of took a step backwards after the Romans lost their empire, but also because there's not a lot of evidence from that period, so it's dark for that reason as well.
Right. So in terms of darkness, because there's very little stuff from it.
Yeah, we don't know as much about it, so there's that as a reason, as well as obviously the fact that things took a little bit of a step backwards. I'll just get everybody else in the town centre. There's no point having them anywhere else.
I had to think of it, if the Dark Ages hadn't happened, the internet down in that place in London, Jim, might have been half decent.
They do reckon
It had much
that
needed.
technology was set back around 500 years. So we'd be
Yeah,
500 years in the future in regards to technology because of the Dark Ages, which is kind of a weird thing.
And obviously you've also got to consider, what would we have done? Like, would we be 500 years in the future? Like, I mean, obviously the date would stay the same. I know it's meaning in terms of technology, it would be like 500 years of technological advancement that we'd be currently enjoying. But also, could you say that we would have continued to advance if we advanced so quickly? If you get me, like, if we had all that technology and we did advance by 500 years, so if people in the 1500s had the technologies we have today, would we be 500 years in the future, or would people in the 1500s been wiser or stupider than us with that technology?
Yeah, it's all hypothetical, isn't it?
Like, would we have hit the point of climate change in such like a bad way? You know,
Possibly.
Would we have in the 1500s, people could have went past the point of no return? You'd like to think that people would learn more, but I wonder if like beliefs would change, or whether beliefs would shift at the same rate as technology as well. Because I think the two might be almost linked, if you get me. Like, the advancement of technology is very closely linked to the beliefs of the people creating them. I mean, I guess that's why technology didn't advance in the Dark Ages, because people's beliefs didn't let it.
We must repel
Come
them.
over here.
My lord, the
I
enemy
don't know if I told you this last time, but probably not, because it's been a while. But
we will smash the enemy.
did you know that the rook in chess is a siege tower? That's the reason it's a little castle. It's meant to represent a siege tower. I'd learned a load of stuff about the history of chess and like the origins of the pieces, and the reason and I'm going to get this wrong from memory, but like the rook didn't used to be castle when
Blast their eyes.
when
The enemy's ramming through our
schmack.
gates.
The rook, and I'm gonna get this wrong, but there were like horses and elephants in the game, and because the game originated in India, and then sort of like progressed westwards into Europe, and like the version we know of it now is from medieval Europe. It's it reached like the Mediterranean from Persia, and obviously a lot of people playing the game had like no idea like why you'd have an elephant on a battlefield,
Right.
you know, 'cause that's not a very European thing. So I guess the game like culturally adapted to Europe, and I think that was the bishop. I think the bishop used to be an elephant, and it became a bishop because people were like, I don't know what elephants are doing here, like. And the rook was something else, because the word rook is like an English version of like a Persian word, which might have been the Persian word for elephant, but that might have also been the word for the bishop. So I forget which one. One switched to a bishop because obviously Persians didn't have much use for Christian bishops, as it were, and we didn't have much use for elephants either. So,
Oh, cool.
so it's kind of like what's the word for it when you localization. It's like probably one of the earliest examples of like games localization, like a game being adapted to a market. Obviously, this wasn't intentional. This was just how the game evolved as people like misheard like Arabic terms and Persian terms, and thought, you know, because people were just showing each other the game. Do you know what I mean? It's all very hearsay. It's like, oh, look at this, and then it's this, and they're like, look at this one, and they thought in France they thought the bishop's head looked like a jester's hat. And the word that was being used sounds very similar to the word they used for jester. So in French, the bishop is called the fool. He's not a bishop. He's a fool, like a court jester. But the rook, they didn't keep the Persian for it. They just call it the tower in French. I think in Spanish as well. They
have lost half their men.
they call it tower because they looked at the piece and it looked like a tower. And then they kind of like adapted that one way and another.
Cool.
But also a lot of lessons about how the king is absolutely useless. That's was supposed to be the take home of the original game of chess from India, where it was like the guy who supposedly invented it for the king, and was all like, so here's the king, he's fat and useless and can't move anywhere, and he can only get stuff done when all his like his court and his army do the stuff for him. But keep in mind that the king will tell them where to go and what to do, but if the king lets them die, then the king dies. And it was supposed to be like a lesson to the king. And then apparently the two of them ended up like playing the game throughout their lives and lifelong chess buddies. Though it wasn't called chess, it was called something else.
Chess buddies?
I love it. Just this Indian priest chatting to his king. It's like, we haven't invented it yet, but let's call this game Chess Buddies. But we'll probably drop the term buddies later on.
Yeah, we're not too sure about buddies.
By the way, a lot of dead people in this. I was just explaining to Jimmy the origins of the in chess, which I can't remember whether it was an elephant or something else.
But the original name for the game of chess was Chess Buddies. That's one thing we've definitely established.
I honestly think it was called something like shakalaka, but that's my brain terribly remembering the actual word for it. I just remember those harsh sounds. I had loads of work this month on chess as well, so I was absolutely done with chess by the end of this month.
Well, these guys are getting shot to pieces.
Oh yeah, this lot. The rivers run red with blood, as red as I currently am after my long walk yesterday. I am very. There we go. Chaturanga. Long play's got it. Shakalaka, close enough. I think I got all the A's. I had all the A's and just. I had all the A's in the word and just filled in the consonants with whichever ones I liked.
The enemy general flees like the cowardly
I think
the
the translation's slightly incorrect. Long play. Chaturanga actually is translated in English as chess buddies.
Well, I think chat means chess and Aranga means buddies. Obviously, in a. Oh, I can't remember what it's called. Oh, look, we have Chaturanga. Is it called Chaturanga? Yeah, we've it is Chaturanga, chess buddies. Sanskrit, that's it. It's the Sanskrit for chess buddies.
Yeah.
Which
the buddies one plays chess with.
Well,
known as chess buddies.
Four members of an army, as army or friends.
Yeah.
Friends who
or
fight together.
Buddies.
Yeah, common ancestor. Yeah, I've got it up here. There's what were the pieces? There's a chariot. The rook was that was it. The rook's a chariot, and the
floor is lava.
And the bishop was an elephant.
That sounds like the start or end of a really bad joke. And the bishop was an elephant. Oh, it's hilarious.
Or one of these kind of like, when you don't write a joke and you just cut and like shows just cut to it.
Yes.
To give the impression that someone's just finishing up a joke. And in some cases, it's like, it's sometimes used to show like the character in this scene as like likable or a joke, or do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you don't actually have to write the joke in the same way that like people talking in their sleep indicates they're having dreams about something, which no one ever does. That's not a thing that people do. Like, yes, people do sleep talk, but it's never as clear as like the way they do in TV shows where like, no, I don't want to go to school or whatever, like they say in their sleep. It's like, no one does that. People say like mad shit when they're sleeping.
Yeah.
That long play's got the end of a joke that no one will ever write the setup for, and we never did find that other shoe. And it was like, he's such a funny guy. This guy, as we cut to in this coffee shop, and then the protagonist is like looking over them like, I don't like that guy because he's popular.
I know, he's made a joke that everyone finds funny.
The enemy have brought up more men.
Where?
They hope to make up in numbers what they lack in gallantry.
Are they actually going to try and... This is the dumbness of the AI right here.
It's the Danes on the bridge.
Are you going to come across the bridge, eh? I know this is like Stamford Bridge, isn't it? It's the Battle of Stamford Bridge.
Alright, not Chelsea's ground.
No. Come on. Wander over the bridge. You know you want to.
I don't think they do want to.
There's candy on the other side.
There's butter cookies. Is that what the Danes eat? They eat their little butter biscuits, Danish biscuits.
I don't know. I'll put my men on the bridge, and then they'll be like, "Oh, they're on the bridge. Let's have a wander over." And I'll go, "That's not what I'm actually doing," and then I'll just shoot them. This
is how it works with the squirrel when I go out on my walks. Because I've tell you, after we played Nuts there many moons ago, and you and Archie weren't fans of the game because I guess it didn't have too many gameplay mechanics in it. As you did say, it was more of an experience than a game. I've taken to looking for squirrels when I go out on my walk.
Of course you have.
Of course I have, because it seemed quite wholesome and fun. So I started doing it, and then I kept seeing these squirrels, and they come like right up to you. So I bought a pack of like nuts and corn that I keep in my backpack in case I see them, and then I give the squirrels food, like that mad Bint in Home Alone 2, You know, the one from the
Oh,
park.
Pigeon Lady.
Yeah. Well, I'm just squirrel guy now. So I guess there's like people like walking around. And then there's me just with a with a pack of like seeds and corn, just feeding squirrels.
Right, here we go. Shoot them. Whoa.
Longplay says it's from Boys' Night Out in 1962, where they had a risque joke interrupted by a passing train. Now that just reminds me of like the Blazing Saddles joke, which I'm sort of worried that, well, you wouldn't need to repeat it, but I'm just concerned in this day and age it may not have aged well. When the new sheriff arrives in town, and there are obviously everyone in this town full of hicks is trying to like drop the N-bomb to describe the new sheriff, and every time they try and do it, some like weird sound cue happens, like the chimes of the bell.
Yeah.
In the town, like it's, and then they just go and do it anyway, which is I think is like the funniest part of the joke. Do you know what I mean? Like the idea that like a word they know they're not supposed to be saying keeps getting cut off when everyone in the audience knows what they're gonna say.
Yeah.
And then just saying it anyway after you've done all that. And Longplay, you are completely right. The whole movie like mocks racism, but as humans, I don't think we're that good at understanding nuance or context or intention. I think people would rather, in some cases, be offended by things that weren't meant as offense. And I guess it works, because then the people actually doing damage kind of are sat getting away with it by being clever about their message. Yeah, there's a line there. And yes, Longplay says people love to be offended by the things they can safely do nothing about. It's yeah, it's, you know what? I forget the theory, but I guess it's in linguistics and like translation theory, and the idea is that every time you speak and communicate, there is the speaker's intention and the listener's understanding. And a listener will derive meaning from the words the speaker says, but you can never guarantee those two have like a 1-to-1 ratio or exactly the same. In the same way, like art and the viewer, an artist can try and convey some feelings or emotion, and the viewer can experience some stuff, but you can never guarantee that what one intended will be the same as what the other experiences.
Yes.
And also, I mean, it's on both sides to understand that as well. Like, I can be really bad for saying like, that's not what I meant, whatever. And you can be like, don't get upset about what I say if I didn't intend it to be meant in that way. But also, when you pick and choose your words and say things and, use your tone, you are making choices where I know there's times where I'm like, oh shit, that did come across as that, even though that was not my intention.
Mm-hmm.
I think once you've said that, though, like if someone gets offended by something you're saying, you're like, oh my god, no, I can understand when I said those things in that way, that it would be construed as that. I actually meant it in this way. Really, at that point, the other person should just back down and go, oh, right, sorry, you had no intention of offending me, and everything you said was, meant in good humor or whatever. And then at that point, everyone backs down and go, all right, now we're cool, is the way you'd hope things would go, but never would. So it's a bit of a shame we're that silly. But Longplay likens it to making games. I mean, if you want things to be misunderstood and not represented in a way you want them to, then I guess computer programming and making games is the way to do it. If you want to see your intentions so wildly misconstrued as to not represent anything you wanted them to, programming is the way to go. And Longplay says you can insult people and then have them not notice. You know what? Dry humor is excellent for that. I love when someone doesn't realize they're the butt of a joke,
Only half the enemy force
or if it's just a joke in your own head, like not that you say it in your own head, but you say it out loud, and you know, sort of the safest way to make fun of someone, make fun of someone in a way that only you know you're making fun of them, and then they don't get upset, and you can still enjoy making fun of them. It's the future of making fun of people. Just make fun of them in ways they don't understand. And then no one gets hurt, and you can... I mean, I guess if you really want to be like civil about it, you could just like make fun of them in your own head. Like, literally just think it. Of course, if you start like absolutely bawling and rolling around on the floor, they are going to ask, what's so funny? And then you might have to tell them, or come up with something else equally as funny. And this the sunburn from yesterday's walk is proper getting to us now. It was a lovely idea to go out for a 6-hour walk. A very bad idea to do it in the middle of the day in southern Spanish weather.
Yeah.
It's healing up nicely though. Wasn't planning on spending much time out in the sun today, that's for sure. Not like these buggers who just want to sit on a bridge and get sunburned.
Getting shot to pieces. Ha 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 ha.
That is a
It's
lot
not
of
a good space to
a
stand
lot of-
there, is it?
No, I'm just reading a message from long play, which I'm trying to deconstruct whilst watching horses die, which is not something I ever thought I'd say. And I could eat as many treats as Samson slew Philistine, and with the same jawbone. I was listening to a podcast about Samson not too long ago, but the problem is I listen to a lot of podcasts as I go to bed.
Is that the fellow with the bonnet? The magical bonnet.
Oh yeah, it's like hair imbues him with powers because it's like
Because that
an
makes
example
sense.
of how much he because it's an example of how much he loves God, if I recall correctly.
Ah.
His not cutting his hair is to show how much he loves God, so God gives him strength based on hair.
Fair enough.
And yeah, and a jawbone was his weapon, apparently. If I'm thinking the same thing. Samson killed the Philistines with the jawbone of an ass, you see, and it's a lot of that's a lot of layers to that Samson bit. Quite a probably a niche audience for that particular joke. I mean, amongst biblical scholars, I imagine it slays.
At the cocktail, the biblical cocktail parties, that's like, oh, here we go, the Samson joke again.
Go on, tell it.
Go on. Have you heard? Hey, Tommy, have you heard the Samson joke? Oh, yes, but go on. Go tell it again anyway. I love this one.
Say it again.
Hey, Pete, tell your Samson joke.
Yeah. In my old workplace, there was this.
Jebediah's not heard it.
No, in our workplace, there's a joke that I'll not repeat on here, but it was one of those jokes that's just so awful that, and it's long as well, so that's why I'll not tell you. But it's one of these jokes that like just goes on for ages, and at the end, the punchline is like very distasteful. So, so the reactions to it are better. Like the longer you wind around a joke and get into the punchline, the more in one way or another people are going to react, if you get me. Like if it's offensive, the more offended they're going to be, because I'm going to guess they just get annoyed at the fact that you wasted their time with this joke that they also didn't like. And even if they're not offended, if they just don't find it funny, they might just be annoyed at you, having to sit through it. Yeah.
We had a little bit of a glitch on the stream there.
Yeah, nah, it's sorted. Should be.
Oh, this is quite the little
You haven't
attrition.
moved back down to London, have you?
I haven't.
Behold how our cowardly foe runs. It's time to press the attack.
Tell you what, these lads have done a good job, haven't they? Just kept everyone at bay.
I feel a bridge wasn't the best place for them to have a fight. I almost feel like you only needed one unit to hold the bridge. And there's surely got to be another bridge somewhere else up the way, right? Do you know what I mean? Like,
I don't know, I think bridges
second...
came at a premium in the medieval era, Joe. It wasn't like Newcastle now, where you just spoiled for choice. Which bridge shall I use?
That's the thing I do miss about back home. Just the large number of bridges. I like a good bridge. And
yeah,
Newcastle has tons of them. And different ones as well. And all of them seem quite interesting in like design. None of these just like
not your everyday crappy bridge.
Not just a crappy flat bridge, I do remember watching like a 20-minute YouTube video on different kinds of bridges, and it was very fascinating if you're into that kind of thing. The pros and cons of different bridges. It's the kind of rock and roll lifestyle I lead. Just educational YouTube content on the advantages and disadvantages of different bridge types. And yeah, there were a few from back home mentioned, and you kind of like yeah when they like mention Newcastle. Like this video that mentioned like places all over the world mentioned Newcastle because we had a good bridge. I think it was the Millennium Bridge that was featured in this video, but could have mentioned any of the others. Watching this makes me miss when people could hang out
and have a large scrap on bridges.
Yeah, just
behold how our coward
bloody hell! Finally,
clear victory that goes to.
Oh, Captain Morris. Should give him a promotion.
And yeah, is it just what does it do?
Apparently,
I'll consider him as a son.
Yeah, he's done such a good job as Captain Morris that they're saying, should he become a general? And I'm going to say, hell yes, he should.
So are generals, because it says consider him as a son.
Yeah, like he's been welcomed into the royal family type of thing.
Yeah. So do generals count as sons?
By your will,
I guess
sire,
so.
We shall engage. Laying siege, noble sire.
I'll tell you, let's build a few of them.
He does pronounce it siege.
Siege. He's posh.
And I did, yeah, but also I looked it up, and Unsurprisingly, the word is of French origins, like how I zh'd the G in origins there. Origins. No, I'm posh as well.
I think we'll hit a little intermission.
Good shout.
And
I
we'll
have
come
been
back to
polishing
this.
off Nesty.
Yeah, and we'll get some fluids, and then we'll come back to it in a couple of minutes. So, see you
don't
all.
ever call them fluids again.
See you all in 5 minutes.
See you in a bit.
All right, we're back from the short break where Joe loaded up on fluids, and we're ready to, I guess, beat up some Danes, maybe beat up some Portuguese as well. How are the fluids, Joe?
My fluids are excellent, thank you. They are lemony fluids, and I mean that by flavor, not color. Just continuing on through my relentless pursuit of iced tea. That's basically when I'm not drinking beer, I'm drinking iced tea. Not to be confused with like the iced tea they tend to have in the States, where it's like 90% sugar and tea, and then some like lemon juice, where it feels like it's lemonade with, like old-fashioned lemonade with tea in it, which is very nice. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not against it, but like, I wouldn't be able to just keep drinking iced tea because I'd be 400 kilos and immobile.
The enemy lays siege, sire.
So
We must
here I just
prevail.
drink like sugar-free iced tea, which is essentially water with cheeky bit of flavoring.
Well, I decided to go get some tiger bread and chew on that, which is,
Nice.
as we all know, bread that was made with the loving touch of a tiger.
Like by the tiger,
Yeah,
Hail, my king.
like the tiger who came to tea, but he
yeah,
made
it's
some
the
bread
tiger
instead.
who made some bread.
Nice.
As you command, my liege.
Right, I am going to assault and just auto-resolve this one because I think there's like literally 15 men inside here. Oh, sorry, 20. I do feel like we've got it though. Watch this, just... Okay, good.
Captain Yon.
Glory.
I'm gonna say
honor,
apparently that's called sweet tea.
gods be
Um,
praised. He has
what's
granted
Snapple
us
then?
Victory.
Does that taste like an iced tea? Most of the US makes iced tea by putting a couple of tea packets into a large bottle of water and setting it in the sun. No sugar. Yes, like home, like just making your own iced tea. But I mean, as a product that's sold. Like if you go buy a bottle of, well, to my taste, if you go buy a bottle of anything, then
Hail, my
then
king.
you're bound to get loads of
As you
sugar.
will, my
I thought
king.
Snapple was
To battle.
Is Snapple not the one that's like iced tea that you can buy? Is there not a Snapple iced tea? Because that's the
Admiring the enemy.
that's the only thing I buy because it's like because I don't like fizzy drinks, so that's like the only like beverage in the US that I can drink. I don't know if I dislike Snapple. I just think there's too much sugar in it. But yes, it's soda levels of sweet. That's what I mean. So these the default amount of sugar in soft drinks in the US is what tends to get
It will be an honor
me.
defeating you.
I have an occasional sweet tooth, but I can't like.
My tooth is
drink
always
that
sweet.
much sugar, but I can't drink that much sugar. I can
No, I
eat
prefer
that
it
much
in
sugar.
like eating rather than drinking it.
Yes, your highness.
Yeah, that's why I like cordial or squash or juice.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, but I'm not one for soft drinks, and I don't like, as you know, Jimmy, I don't like carbonation. So most soft drinks are off the menu for me.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why I'm quite happy to drink the iced tea they do here in Spain in the non-sugar.
What about in beer
Mood.
though?
I can make an exception for carbonation if alcohol is involved. That's just the trade-off I have to do. That's it. The only fizzy drinks I drink are alcoholic. That is like, it's also the only time I'll drink like Coca-Cola or anything like that.
Oh, this is a good name, isn't it? Loughlin Taylor, and he's gonna marry Maggot.
Oh. Oh man, I hope maggot means something nicer where they're from, because if you have a daughter, I mean, it could be a bloke. I'm guessing in medieval times this is not maggot is not a bloke, but
No, Maggot won't. Her name's gonna be Maggot Taylor.
nice, like little suits for maggots.
Little suits for maggots, yeah. It's adorable.
Gross.
I love saying like, yeah,
Aye.
stop fighting Spain. I'm not fighting Spain. Am I not allowed to defend myself against them? This is what I don't get about this. I keep getting told off for fighting them, but I can't not.
It's like being in school, isn't it? When they keep telling you to stop getting into fights, and you're like, they're fighting me.
Yeah.
Apparently, Longplay says there's places where they give you a glass of ice and a little pot of strong hot tea.
Yeah.
That's a pretty fast way to get yourself some iced tea, to be fair. Because if the tea's strong, as you pour it into the ice will melt and it'll dilute your tea. And I guess,
Maggot Taylor.
and then it won't have any like ice cubes in it by the time you're done. That's what they do here with coffee. I like getting a single shot of coffee, like an espresso, but with ice on like super hot days, and you just pour it over like a couple of ice cubes and stir away in a matter of seconds. You've got a very refreshing ice cold, I guess, like what they'd call an Americano.
Oh my god, they're at it again. No.
My offer is
until next time, my lord.
Don't know why they're so obsessed with it. It's not happening.
I don't know why they're so obsessed with demanding a ceasefire when they started it.
I know.
Am I being stupid?
No.
Like,
They're being unreasonable. Oh mine, look at this. I'm like, every port's just being blockaded right now.
is that what the ropes are?
Yeah. Leave me alone.
My lord, engaging the enemy fleet.
Let's go here and then let's retrain the navy. Let's get it all nice and big and strong again. And then go batter them all. Is London like... Oh, look at that. London's now a huge city. King Paul, that's a name right there.
Longplay mentions how snottily people will add water to an espresso when you order an Americano, and he said he ordered it in Paris and got such a look. I'm like, I think that's more of a Paris thing than an Americano thing. Having been to Paris many times, I can tell you there's something about the people there and their lives that makes them less than willing to be friendly to other people living their lives. I don't know how else to how diplomatically I can put this, but and I don't think that necessarily it's the fault of the people, it's the fault of the city. I don't know. I think. I mean, it probably just works in scales. I bet you, like, people from smaller towns appear like super rude and busy and uninterested to people from like villages. If you get me, I bet you people from like 10 towns of like 10 little hamlets of 10 people go to a village of 100 people and they're like, everyone's so busy and rude and like can't just stop to chat. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They can't stop for 3 hours to have a talk with their neighbor or whatever. Like, just goes on scales. And Longplay is absolutely correct. They hear your accent and then they're angry. Yes, they are. the second they hear an English accent, I think a switch is flipped in the minds of certain Parisians.
Yep.
and I know that because my lass isn't Parisian. Should tell you she's Parisian, but she's not. This is just like not even close, man. It's like 2 hours away from Paris, but it's connected to Paris by the local trains network. So I guess it counts, but it couldn't count less. And I guess the thing is, I get treated really nicely when I'm with her in Paris, and we go places, and like chatting away in French to like waiters and stuff like that. But when I'm on my own, or I'm with only English speakers, there is a noticeable difference. Like whether, I wouldn't go blow the like racist horn. That's just like too much. But people have like something on a subconscious level where I guess, it's not necessarily that they'll that they're meaner to me. Maybe they're just nicer to the people that sound like where they're from, and the way they're treating me is their just default level of mean. If you get me, maybe they're just mean people who are nicer to people who sound like where they're from. In the same way, like if you hear like a fellow Geordie when you're out and about traveling or whatever, then you might be like more chipper and more likely to engage with them in a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And Longplate says can't be racism, you're the same race. The human race, exactly. No, but whether it's xenophobia or whatever is neither any kind of weird prejudice. People I think are naturally inclined to be nicer to people that sound like where they're from. I don't know.
The battle is very much in
there
our
might be
favor.
something about us
If we
as
remain true
as
and
humans
steadfast, victory will be ours.
that hopefully with proper upbringing can be undone. To not be a bumhole to people who aren't like, from your neck of the woods.
Smash.
The enemy are badly bloodied. They have lost half their men.
But also, I might add that it is so difficult to tell waiters in Paris what you want and try and get them to make it in the way you want it without them applying their own misconceptions of how British people like their food. Like when you're asking for like the doneness of meat.
Oh, right, yeah.
And like the strength of coffee and stuff like this. It's so often, and this often will probably come from a nice place or just wanting not to like bother people. They've probably had a lot of people from like the UK who've said they've wanted their steak well done and then sent it back to get it even more done.
Yeah.
So to avoid problems, when I say I want mine saignant, bloody, whatever the one raw, no, not raw, one after that, rare. If I say I want my steak rare, there's something in their head that goes, it must mean like British rare, which is like well done or whatever. And
Yeah.
like, but no, I don't want it what you think I want. Like, I want it the way yous call it. Like, if a French person asked for it this way, cook it that way. That's the, this isn't like, when sometimes when you go, like, you go to like an Indian restaurant and get something and they're like, maybe you make it less spicy for us. But like, if we all just did it the same for everyone, then we wouldn't have any worries, any like, there wouldn't be any complications, there wouldn't be any misunderstandings. It's just like, this is how it is here,
Yeah.
and this is how the scale applies. But yeah, I've had times where I'm like, they're like, that's really like not cooked, and I'm like, yeah, I know. Don't call me an imbecile.
That is like so French what he's just done. Like, do you speak French? No, imbecile. Like, exactly what we've just been talking about.
Come and get me, you coward.
I don't know Lipo, but yeah, it's
We will
there's
see
things
you
like this.
dead,
There's a Mexican place here, and
my lord.
spicy food is not popular in Spain. There are some people like it. Like, don't worry, this is a broad generalization, but spice is not that common. There, like, this is a nation that thinks chorizo is spicy, and
By your command.
I guess like the average Mexican would be like,
Ready, sire.
"What the hell are you on about?
Ready.
Chorizo is not spicy. It has some spice in it, but it's not spicy." And I remember going to this new Mexican place, and they said, "Oh, like we have three sauces, like mild, medium, and spicy." And I'm like, "Is the spicy spicy?" And he's like, "Spicy is spicy for Mexico." And I'm like, "Right, I'll have the medium then." It's like it's beyond the scales that they would call spicy in Spain. But don't think the Spanish would touch it. Apparently, Spain has less hot than, say, Mexico, but less picante, as I guess
Not at all. Fleet ready, sire.
they'd call it. Spain doesn't do picante. It
Our people rule these
it does some like very rich flavors and a lot of stuff that has like,
full sails.
that has taste, but not the
Orders.
spicy sensation, as it were.
As you wish.
Who are we chinning now, by the way?
We're gonna chin these Spanish. There's more Spanish. I feel like the Spanish are the ones cruising for a bruising here, but not much
We'll
I
have
can
to
do.
move on to.
I think Nottingham is nearly ready. One more turn. We can start building bombards now, whatever they are, just giant cannon-looking things.
I was chatting the other day about trebuchets and
Trench
or
buckets.
Tretch buckets, as I was literally going to say that, as our old friend Alan used to call them, Tretch buckets. So I was like, trebuchet, and she's like, "What's a trebuchet?" And I'm like, "I'm sure it's like from your neck of the woods. I'm sure it's a French thing. There's no way something called trebuchet can't be French." And but she'd never heard of it. I mean, I guess she wasn't playing Age of Empires 2 when she was younger. But
Hitting the boat, sire. Yes, sir. Sire.
I showed her a picture of a trebuchet, and she's like, "Yeah, a catapult." I'm like, "Yeah, but they don't work in the same way. Like, I think a trebuchet is a weight, isn't it? Like, a trebuchet launches using a weight,
Yes.
and a catapult launches using tension, doesn't it? Don't you put tension into?"
Yes. It's One's using a heavy weight to launch the stone forward, and the other one's using a like torsion, isn't it? Like you wind the
Yeah. So the
rope
thing
back
that
until it snap. Well,
exactly.
yeah.
So the thing that eventually launches it, the energy that launches the thing is the tensile, I guess, the tensile energy, whatever that is, elastic energy maybe, in the catapult. And in a trebuchet, it's like there's like GCSE physics, gravitational potential energy. Is that it? Like when you with a trebuchet, you've sort of lifted a heavy weight up at the front, haven't you? And then you hold it in place with like a rope or a latch or however that works. And then when you release it, the weight falls down, moving the lever that launches the other thing, right? Am I think that
so.
right? Like, there's a big like heavy weight hanging at the front of a trebuchet, and then when you release it, it allows that weight to drop, which pulls the arm forward. It's constantly trying to pull the arm forward by dropping, but it can't because it's held in place.
I think so.
Physics with indie bandits. As in, no one would pass GCSE physics with that. God,
Build some
GCSE
pretty cool
physics
stuff
as
now.
well.
Retinue longbowman, that's pretty cool. But I think we're also getting into some of the heavy stuff. We can build a ribbo, bombard and mortar. And then
I'd
in
say
London we can
ribbo.
build demi-lancers. That sounds like something out of a... Look at this thing. Military Academy enables the training of demi-lancers. Ooh. The Admiralty. Gunhook. Wow, I can start to build like proper like gunships and stuff now. Nice.
I assume those are like boat gunships, not like, I don't know why. Maybe it's just like I've got like sort of like steampunk on the brain. But when you said gunships, I just felt like I just imagined an airship with guns on it, which would be cool as fuck.
What the hell happened there?
Oh.
Oh no, did I forget? Uh-oh. I think I did a silly. Oh no, yeah. I did a
Did you leave?
I left it too long.
Did you do a York?
I didn't do a York, I just left it too long this time, so they literally starved to death.
Oh, did you have to go out and chin those people?
I'm going to now, but yeah, I did have to. Whoops.
How much did we lose?
I just lost Bruges, but I'm literally about to take it back.
Sire. Prepare to assault the walls. We lay siege.
I'm gonna lay siege to
Siege.
them.
Plan, sire.
It's time to siege.
I'm gonna siege Bruges.
One must siege Bruges. What else am I doing? I got a bit carried away building cannon buildings and stuff. Which I think is a
Where did you
fair
get-
reason to get carried away. It's just very annoying that we've basically lost, like, a named character down there now.
Oh no, was he the
Actually-
one you married into the family?
Hail,
Possibly
my
could have
king.
been, yeah. Oh god, that is a bit annoying, actually. Oh wait, James, man. Pull your finger
Hail,
out.
my king. Let us settle matters on the field of
I could
battle.
make it even more difficult for you by challenging you with riddles, like Archie was doing to me the other night on the stream whilst playing tactical strategy game Corruption 2029. That is,
You could do. You could do.
I won't, because I know how damn difficult that is. Especially when you're trying to think and you're like, I just can't. I am.
Wunderbar. Our talks
Oh.
have been most worthwhile.
Versweil, wunderbar, ja.
I know. I don't want to do my German accent because it's too terribly offensive.
Oh, okay, good. We're getting another one. Mitchell
that-
Sandy.
Oh, I was gonna say, is that not what the sea turtle said? Michelle Sandy,
Uh,
Yes, sire. Preparing to board and
the
engage the
turtles
enemy.
from Yorkshire, I guess.
Victory is ours, sire.
So, that turtle's just come from York to Bruges.
there he is, Mitchell Sandy, all the way up in Edinburgh.
He is a very blonde gentleman. We don't
Yes.
have that many oh no, tell a lie. I was gonna say we don't have that many blondies in our army, but we've got a few actually. We're very. I was gonna say diverse. We're not that diverse. This is like
Your will, sire.
jug of milk in terms of diversity.
Yeah.
The medieval English army is not an equal opportunities employer.
It's not. There we
It's
go.
just, I mean, it is if you're a white bloke. Bonk.
Glorious
about a bonk 'em?
victory is ours, sire.
We
As you
automatically
commanded,
bonk
sire,
them.
These lands are now
It's an
yours.
auto bonking.
That's gross. Either the bonking is automatic or it's you're bonking yourself. Do you know what I mean? Like auto as in like self. What are you doing? Are you auto bonking in there? No, don't
No.
come in.
No, don't come in. Oh man.
Just as I popped into Bruges, he was auto bonking.
Bonjour.
Oh, I lost the
We hope
plot.
you have the brains.
Oh, you want a ceasefire now, do you? Yes.
Très bien. France will not forget this.
I bet you will. I bet they forget it in like 3 turns.
Continue, mon
enemy.
And then the Pope will be like, "Can you stop fighting the French?" He's like, "I'm not.
Like, I'm not
It's
doing
Godfrey
anything, man.
Danger."
Why not? You have a
Which-
deal. It must
You
work
should just
while
call him
meeting,
Godfrey
mon ami.
Dangers because that's a class name.
I don't know what he's doing. He keeps like. They all keep doing this. Or do they all want peace now? Oh my god.
They want peace, but they also want to give you loads of money for it, which doesn't make sense. Like, I know this game is old, but like even in Civ, like the idea is if you're whooping their ass, they give you money to like
Yeah.
they're like, please stop it. These guys are like
Oh,
getting their
look at
ass
this.
handed to them on a regular basis. They're getting like such an auto bonking, it's unreal. And then they're like, give us money. What, so that pay us so that you can't whoop us anymore?
Look at
It's
this.
not how this works.
We're getting dismounted English knights now at Ilfgar Peckham's Nottingham. That's a good name. Got some plate armor and a poleaxe or
Elfgar
pollux.
Peckham.
If you want to be one of those people that gets really up in arms about all of that stuff.
I do. I'm going to get up in arms about everything. Oh. So if you click that auto manage, is that how you do the auto bonk?
That's the auto bonk mode.
Amazing.
Right, I'm going to do one more turn and we're going to see what these buildings produce for us, and then I think this might be a good spot to call it for the day.
Yeah, we've
I speak on behalf of my
we
lord.
seem to average about one settlement per stream.
We
I
do.
think is there.
No, we will not. I fear more damage
Sod
than
off,
good
then.
was done here.
The Portuguese haven't come back though. Haven't heard from them
Oh,
since.
just
Have
as
we?
you say that, start little
Oh,
cheeky
sorry,
port
did I-
blockading.
Did I curse of the commentator that?
You did.
Oh,
Right,
oh,
here we
peace
go.
with the,
We've built some stuff down here. Now we can build demi lancers. They look fancy, don't they, with their puffy jackets?
oh, the sleeve action they've got going on.
We've got some snazzy sleeve action going on there.
They have so many levels of sleeve action.
Their sleeve game is strong, so I can build demi lancers in London, and in Nottingham. Please tell me we can build some cool stuff up here now. Oh, what's a ribolt? The ribolt, also known as the organ gun, that sounds fun, is a fearsome spectacle. Armed with 9 short-range barrels, it's often used in the defense of other long-ranged artillery, able to fire all 9 barrels at once. Ooh.
They're not joking when it look. I'd love the idea. I know it's like. It's because it looks like an organ with all those pipes at the front, right?
Yeah.
But I'd love the idea if it just played that like, you know, I forget the name of the song. I think it's like Fugue in D minor or something. You know,
yeah.
it just every time it fired, it just plays the Dracula theme. And that's as it resonates through the hills, everyone knows they're in for such an auto bonking.
Like, oh no. Here comes the auto bonk.
You know what? The auto bonk sounds like a German product.
It does. It probably is. I reckon you
If
could
you-
find something called auto. It sounds like maybe like, or maybe
I'm
French.
gonna look up.
Like a bank, Joe, like an automatic bank in France.
Well, I'll tell you what. Das
Autobonk.
Autobonk does not exist.
Oh.
At least not in anything that I can see. But an Autobonk might exist. Probably not though. No, I think it's if there was an Autobonk, it would be like, you know, like drive through banks. Like in you know, like the McDonald's drive-through, but they have, you know, in North America they have them where it's like a cash point, but you just drive up to it.
Schmacky days.
Yeah, like Matty D's, but for your bank. Because why get out of your car when you could not get out of your car?
That's the tagline, isn't it?
But
Why
just
get out
North
of your
America.
car when you could not get out of your car? Autobank.
At Wilson's Hyundai and Subaru. Yeah.
Wilson,
it's,
Hyundai, and Subaru. They sell Hyundais and Subarus. Oh god, it's so good.
That felt like that's what the Autobonk is.
Oh my god. Royal Officers Academy. It's getting very fancy in London, isn't it? I kind of want to build that.
Enables the training of Demi Lovato. But to a maximum of 6. You are getting high levels of fans right now.
I am. You know
Like,
what? I
these
might
look
speed through
better.
the next few turns just to kind of see what gets built. It's just like rattle off the turns, just like build it, hurry. Oh my god.
Like blow all your wedge on like loads of fancy shit and just hope you don't get attacked by every person, that man and that dog from like
Football's
Portugal,
being denounced,
Spain, France. Wait, what? But I don't even think football existed at this time, did it?
Well,
it does now. That's got to be a joke, right? I'm fairly certain that football. No, but like the football was like late 1800s.
Well, when it became professional and leagued and stuff like that, but it may have been something people.
Yeah, but
The Reich.
potentially, but I don't think it was football. I'm sure it was just called like kick people in the street at that time. I watched that Netflix thing that was Downton Abbey with football. It's good actually. What's it called? The English Game.
Oh, the English Game, yeah.
Did you watch it?
I watched the first 2
it.
episodes. I didn't watch the rest of it for no other reason than I think we just forgot to watch it.
All right. No, it was. I enjoyed it. It was kind of the closest football-related thing that I could watch with the lass, because she's not interested in football unless it's on a national level, and that's more of a patriotic thing than a football thing. But I guess you're in the fortunate situation of having a wife that likes football, so you don't have to watch the English Game. You can just watch football.
You just watch all the football.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought it was good. It was not really that much. Well, no. If you're up to like episode 2, if I remember, in the middle it dipped because it stopped being about football.
There was a bit of a love story going on, wasn't there?
Yeah, and those were the episodes I didn't like. I liked
Yeah.
the episodes that were about football and about working class people kicking the arse of hoity-toity people from Oxbridge. Those were my favorite bits. But I mean, you know, you could probably predict the story where it's like all of them are dickheads except one who's all right, and is that actually kind of like, I admire these people that we've given no chance to succeed, and succeed. Where's he meant to be from?
Yeah, that's the Death Park bloke.
Oh yeah. I look forward to fighting you.
I look forward to fighting you.
It's like, really? That's not quite how it sounds. I don't think.
Yeah,
anyway.
it sounds like that voice they have for the Danish guy in Family Guy, the one who's like the baker or something. It's like, would you like to taste my cack? I have a lot of cack in my
the Swedish
battery.
baker, Fjörg van der Plug.
No, is that not the one off the Muppets? The Swedish chef. He's the one who's all like,
van der
pork, pork,
Plug's
pork.
Swedish bakery. Oh no, you're covered in my hot pea.
Yes, yes, that's the one. What's he called? Fjord van den Berg.
Isn't it Fjörg van der Plug? I might be getting that wrong. Right, you know what, Joe? This is I'm not going to be able to do this, so I'm just going to call it here before this battle starts, and we can kick off next episode with the battle, because it's going to take ages. I need like 4 more turns to even see what that building gets us. So I think we will. Do you want the hot piece of pea? Oh no, you're covered in my hot pea.
That's the one. That is the one.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll call it there. So yeah, thanks for joining us. You can follow all Indie Bandit stuff on all the social media channels, in particular Twitter and on Discord as well. We'll be back next week with more medieval action, but I'm assuming as well in between some more indie game action.
Oh, definitely. There's Overcooked potentially on the horizon.
Oh, that'll be good.
a cheeky full bandit sesh of Overcooked 2, which will hopefully be as chaotic as it is fun. And then hopefully in this month is, we don't know the exact date, but we should be organizing the first ever name pending demo disc live when we go through the games featured in our demo disc articles. It'll be a good community event, so we'll keep everyone up to date with that, and potentially something like a newsletter in the works as well. Hopefully, we're still ironing out the details of that, but something that hopefully can provide devs with something valuable to look at and read once a month. But that's still in the pipeline. But coming up, biggest thing is probably the demo disc live when we settle on a date for that.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Yeah,
and
looking forward to that.
Tomorrow.
Especially the Overcooked session. I think that's going to be good fun.
It's going to be madness.
It will.
Should be good.
Cool. All right. Well, yeah. Thanks again for everyone to join us, and catch you next time. Bye bye.
Hurrah.